right, everyone. Welcome back to the Scoreboard here on WSIC 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, and video to YouTube, Facebook, WSICnews.com. Anywhere you want to catch us, you can find us. And if you'd like to be a part of the show, 704-873-1400 is the phone number. We take every single call that comes to us here on the Scoreboard. We don't care what you have to talk about. Are you angry? Do you remember what I said my Panthers prediction was going to be? Are you angry at it? Because I'm starting to think I gave them a little too much credit. But nonetheless, 704-873-1400. Call in, be a part of the show. We have a lot to get to today. Major League Baseball, NFL stuff, some NASCAR preview here. It's getting down to it. We have a lot starting. So we got the playoffs coming up for NASCAR. We got the regular season coming up for the NFL. High school football going on. It's a busy time of the year. And sometimes we can't get to anything. Kind of like yesterday, how we really didn't talk too much about the MLB. We touched on it. I gave you a little bit of an update on the standings, where we were sitting. Well, we want to touch on some things today with the MLB because there is an update on the Wander Franco situation. As we remember, he was placed on like a restricted reserve list where he was being investigated by Dominican authorities for being in a relationship with somebody who is underage. So it was announced, here's the announcement, Wander Franco will not rejoin the Tampa Bay Rays when they return to Tropicana Field on Tuesday night. He was placed on administrative leave until further notice through an agreement between the MLB and the MLBPA Tuesday morning. The Rays and Franco mutually agreed to place him on the restricted list on August 14th. That was before, which extended through Monday. So that was during that road trip that they had. And I said, hey, we're not going to have any kind of result here by the time we get back to Tuesday and Tampa's at home. We're not going to have anything resolved. Well, this is how they're resolving it. They're placing him on administrative leave while the investigation is ongoing. And the Rays released a statement saying, we support Major League Baseball's decision to place Wander Franco on administrative leave. The Tampa Bay Rays are dedicated to upholding high standards and integrity both on and off the field. We have no further statements on this matter until MLB completes its process. And there is some thoughts, some chatter, some communication, some, small but not serious reporting that Wander Franco's career could be in jeopardy here. Obviously, we don't know what the results of this investigation are going to show, but around the league, it sounds like Wander Franco might be having a tough time getting back to the Rays once they do complete this investigation. And it's not great. It's not a great look for anybody, for the Rays, for Wander Franco, for MLB. The weird part about this whole situation is apparently this girl that he's in this relationship, quote unquote relationship, I don't even know if you can call it that. She's posting on social media apparently, and apparently post pictures with a child that's supposedly, there's a whole lot of, he said, she said going on, and people trying to be investigative journalists on Twitter and on Facebook, thinking they know what's going on. But until we have a solid, hey, this is what's happening, this is what the investigation shows, then we really can't say too much about the situation that he's in because, well, we don't know. Right now, it's just allegedly allegations. So we'll let this process play out, but until further notice, we're not going to see Wander Franco. And this is huge for Tampa. They still sit 3 games out of the AL East. So they're in the playoffs right now. They're the first wild card team, which helps. They have a little bit of buffer space here if things go bad, which, I mean, they haven't really been bad for the Rays here recently. They've been playing just over 500 baseball over the past few weeks, so they're not, really in trouble. But losing a player like Wander Franco, it's going to be tough for the Rays here going forward to replace that kind of contribution, because Franco was one of the young stars of the team, signed a big contract last year after only a few games. He was, pretty big talk of the league for a couple of weeks as he was tearing it up when he first started, when he first got into the show. But Tampa not going to be having Franco on the field, and hopefully they can, right the ship here and perform without him. They have a good team. They have this theory, this almost Moneyball idea where they have a good team that they're not paying a lot of money for it and they're going to compete, but they decided to pay Wander Franco, and now they might not have him. So hopefully the rest of the team can, pick up the slack that he's going to be losing here, because like I said, Wander Franco, not a terrible baseball player. Could be that we don't want to talk about him as a person, but he was batting .281 this year, which is incredible for a player in the year 2023. And, he had 17 home runs, 58 RBIs. He wasn't having a horrible year, but they're going to be missing him. And I don't know what this is going to mean for, the future of the Rays, because they're going to need to figure out what they're going to do about not only Wander Franco, but the contract they're going to pay him and the position he plays, his shortstop. There's a lot going on with this, and I'm sure the Rays organization is not happy. Maybe teams start digging into players' lives a little bit more before they decide to sign them. I don't know. This is going to be a really interesting time for baseball. It's not going to be it's going to be a pretty big, pretty crazy story, but I think the aftermath and the fallout is what's going to be a little bit more crazy is the best word I can come up with right now, because once we have the results of this investigation, that's when the dominoes are going to start falling, and we're going to see what's the plan, what's MLB's plan, what's the Rays' plan. So we'll continue to stay on top of this story as much as we can, as respectfully as possible, because like I said, I don't like talking about these kind of things too much. I like talking about, baseball and sports and, but this is something that's happening in the world of sports right now, so we do have to address it. One other piece of news here before we go to break is the Angels have activated a player off of the injured list as of a few minutes ago, literally about 5 minutes before we got on air here. We got the update that the Angels have activated Mike Trout off of the injured list. And what better time to do it? Well, they're kind of in trouble. I don't think they're going to be able to chase down a wild card at this point. They're 9 games out. It's going to be tough. And, they're ahead of the Yankees, who are lost 8 straight games here. It's gonna be tough for the Angels. So we'll see what they can do. But when we come back from break, we'll wrap up. We'll put a nice little double knotted bow on baseball. We'll move on to a little bit of NASCAR. So stay tuned here on the Scoreboard. I'm your host, Joe Berg, here on WSIC, and we'll be right back after this.
If you have an upcoming event, let WSIC spread the word. Go to WSICnews.com and click on the Community Calendar button. WSIC, proud to be part of your community.
Here's your WSIC Community Calendar. Asheville native Kanan Cox will be performing at Kane Center for the Arts Friday, August 25th. Show starts at 8 p.m. Kane Center for the Arts 2024 Fall Season. Buy your tickets now at kanearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Happy birthday, Huntersville! Celebrate Huntersville's 150th birthday this Saturday. Primal in Huntersville will have live music, food trucks, and special deals all day on August 26th. Huntersville is 150 years old, and you should celebrate at Primal off of Highway 115 in Huntersville. It is one of the last couple of weeks to enjoy open swim at the Kerrigan Farms Quarry. Thursday, August 31st is the end of the swim season at Kerrigan Farms Quarry. Swim up an appetite with the whole family and enjoy Kerrigan Farms Farm-to-Table Restaurant. Kerrigan Farms open swim at the quarry. Enjoy it before the end of August. Love cycling? Love supporting veterans? Purple Heart Homes presents Take That Hill. Sign-ups are open now. The event is Saturday, October 7th. It is a great way to support a local organization focused on veterans. Take That Hill, presented by Purple Heart Homes. For more info, visit bikesignup.com. Eli Yacinth Band is playing this Friday, August 25th at the Upper Room in downtown Statesville. Enjoy a great show with a full 9-person band. Have a full night of jazz music with the Eli Yacinth Band, Friday night at the Upper Room in downtown Statesville. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi with your WSIC forecast. Tonight's going to be partly cloudy, low 68. Plenty of sunshine for Wednesday with a high of 86. Mainly clear Wednesday night, low 66. Thursday, sunny skies, high 92. Friday's going to be a sunny hot day with a high of 98. Sunny Saturday, high 96. I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi from WSIC's Weather Center.
Black Powder Coffee is celebrating their 10th anniversary with a medium dark roast blend of Indonesian and South American coffee beans. Enjoy the full-bodied natural flavor notes of chocolate with a bright finish. Get Black Powder Coffee's new anniversary blend today at Black Powder Coffee, 261 Rolling Hill Road, Mooresville, or participating retailers everywhere. Black Powder Coffee.
Whatever the story,
We have to end our dependence on China.
have your say.
This debt crisis is going to set our economy back big time.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
All right, everyone. We are back here on the scoreboard. It is a hot day out there today, man. What a way to have a Tuesday go, huh? And if you're paying attention to the weather this week, stay inside on Friday. It's going to be hot. It's going to be upper 90s. I think I saw over in Charlotte, it's going to be over 100 degrees. That's a little too hot for me. I'm going to be staying inside. This week, really, this whole week is going to be hot, but it looks like next week's going to be a little bit better. So hopefully everybody's staying cool because I am trying my best. I came into the station today, and because it's so hot outside, it was like 78 degrees in here. And I know we're getting back to Joe versus the thermostat on the scoreboard here, but, you know, it's cooled off significantly at this point, so that's good. But, man, everybody try to stay cool as we get through the week here because it is just going to be absolutely brutal out there. Let's continue with the MLB. I said we were going to put a nice bow on everything, but we got a couple of more things to talk about here. I want to bring this up because this is probably my favorite story of the day. It has to do with a broadcaster. And I know last time we talked about a broadcaster, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but no. So Kevin Millar called a home run on Nesson for Adam Duvall. He predicted it. So Adam Duvall comes to the plate early in the game. And I mean, this is the first inning of the game. 2 outs, 2 on. Adam Duvall up to the plate. And let me just let you hear what he had to say.
So we'll send up Adam Duvall. He's in center field tonight. 242, 11 home runs. With 2 out, 2 on. Sox trying to get on the board quickly.
He's going deep. This is not a good matchup for Javier. I'm telling you, Duvall, this is that last 6 weeks where he gets going and gets homer hot, but I'm going to call you right now, early in the game. I know with 2 outs, we're not used to doing this. We're doing it right now. Duvall's going deep.
All right, you're a brave man, but it is cozy out there to left in those Crawford boxes. And I know you're eyeing those right now.
It makes you want to go get a bat, Obi, I'm telling you.
What? Swing at a high fly ball deep left field. What? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my, Kevin Millar, stick around.
I thought that was so funny. Just the what that Kevin Millar yells as the ball gets hit there. It's perfect too, because it's right down the middle, and I mean Duvall just unloads. But
it makes you want to go get a bat, Obi, I'm telling you.
What? What? I mean, that's just funny. I mean, it's a long baseball season, so you got to have fun in the booth, I guess. But that was a real funny one, because I've never seen somebody yell "what" like that while they're in the booth. But I thought that was just a pretty cool moment that happened the other day here. We had somebody predict a home run. I mean, on the exact pitch, like he said, yeah, he's going yard, and then that pitch, we had a home run. I thought that was just pretty cool, so I figured I would, let everybody hear it. If you were watching the stream on Facebook or YouTube, you were able to see a little bit. I don't know. I'm a little gun shy on the whole showing the video on the stream thing after the PGA wasn't too happy with us, and MLS wasn't too happy with us, but hopefully the MLB isn't angry about me playing a little bit of their precious baseball game. They should let me do it, because I'm trying to put the game out there for people, let people see what's going on. It was probably really hard for you guys, if you're a fan of baseball, to watch the Boston game last night, because we're not in market. So unless you're paying extra for it, you probably weren't able to see it. But I thought that was just a cool little moment in the games yesterday. And yesterday's games, I mean, we had some pretty important games last night in the MLB. Some teams really starting to pull in on division races, on playoff, wild card. The biggest thing that I'm watching right now is the Texas Rangers. They are falling, and they're falling fast, and it's not good this late in the season. They're on a 5-game losing streak. Meanwhile, Seattle, in their division, currently 2 games out. 2 games. Remember a couple of weeks ago when I was like, Seattle, they're going to have to fight for the wild card. Well, guess what? Texas lost 5 in a row. When that happens, you better take advantage of the opportunity. Seattle's on a 7-game win streak. They've pulled the division lead to 2, and they still got the Astros in front of them to deal with. But look, they're in a much better position than they were a week and a half ago. And when it comes to the wild card now, they have a full game lead over Toronto. This run has put them into the playoffs in the wild card and given them a chance. So just some things that I'm looking at here as we get later in the season, because there's going to be a lot of shuffling going on. There's still, like I said, just under 40 games left for most teams at this point in the season. It's crunch time. It is definitely crunch time. And this is my obligatory, I apologize to the Cincinnati Reds for bandwagoning them this year, because they have not done good since then. They lost yet again last night, and they're still a game out, which isn't bad, Only 1 game out of the wild card, but they've fallen 4 games out of the division there. When we started the bandwagon, they were leading the division. So I apologize, but at least we had some Elly De La Cruz highlights over the weekend. I didn't get to that yesterday, but he did hit an inside the park home run in like a little league home run style. The ball was going everywhere, and he just kept running the bases. Some other things to keep an eye on here as we get into tonight's games with baseball. Well, right now, the Cubs are about to kick off their game versus the Tigers. First pitch should be shortly. Some big games tonight. The Mets were able to beat the Braves last night, and they're playing them again. The reason I bring that up is because the Mets are now only 6.5 games out of the wild card. They sold a lot. They got rid of their 2 aces, and here they are still kind of with a fighting chance to get into the playoffs. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're not going away easy. I don't know if they can make up this deficit, but wouldn't that be something if the team who sold the hardest at the deadline ends up making the playoffs after getting rid of half of their payroll almost? So the Mets take on the Braves tonight. You're going to have to keep an eye on that one. Because if the Mets get hot here, I don't think there would be a better story in baseball than the preseason of, oh my goodness, the Mets have the highest payroll in baseball by miles. Oh my goodness, the Mets are terrible. Get rid of all the high-paid players. And then, oh my goodness, the Mets are good again. Here they come. They're in the playoffs. That'd be some arc for the season. So just something to make sure you're keeping an eye on. A couple of other big games. Red Sox, Astros. That is huge because the Astros currently in the wild card in Boston, 4 games out. Still within range to pounce if they have the chance. But they got to get some wins here. Other games going on around the league. We got that big Rangers game against the D-backs. Hopefully Rangers can get things back going because they've lost 5 in a row, and that's making that playoff race that much better for the division. Twins Brewers should be a good one. That's an important one. There's a lot of very close playoff races where we're going to have the teams playing each other here at the end of the year. For the division, for the wild card, it's going to get crazy as we get down to it. And I've been waiting for some of these teams to fall out of the wild card race. The Yankees have now pretty much fallen out of the wild card race. The Angels, they're teetering. It definitely helps that they're getting Mike Trout back tonight, but they are definitely on the let's watch out list. We're probably going to be out of contention here soon. Now, this isn't to say that they're completely eliminated. This is we're not in contention right now because something like what the Mariners could do can happen. You can win 7 in a row when somebody in front of you loses 5 in a row. All of a sudden, you're 5 games closer to them. So it's not on. It's unlikely. It's not impossible for the Angels to come back, but nobody is really fallen out of the playoff race. From what we've noted earlier, there's only 2 teams in the NL that are more than 10 games out of the wild card, which is, parity to its finest, in my opinion. But we'll continue to keep an eye on these races. We're getting close to the commercial break here. I want to make sure that we talk NASCAR when we return because we have some promo, some sound from drivers to preview for Daytona. I cannot wait for Saturday night. I am so excited for this Daytona race because I feel like it's not going to be the Daytona that we've seen in the past. And I'll explain what I mean by that when we get back. But make sure you stay tuned here on the Scoreboard, WSIC 105.9, 100.7 FM. And if you want to call in and talk NASCAR or baseball or whatever, really, 704-873-1400. Do not go anywhere. Don't change the radio. Don't change the screen that you're on. Don't close out of Facebook because we'll be back real quick and we'll be talking about NASCAR. Stay tuned, everyone.
Be a part of the conversation.
I listen on the way to work.
Have your say.
It's more than just opinions, it's facts.
This is WSIC News Talk Now. Local and North Carolina news now on the new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC News Talk Now.
I'm Mike Jackson, WSIC News. Queen City News is reporting that a carbon monoxide leak prompted the evacuation of 61 students from the Barger-Zartman Residence Hall at Catawba College, authorities said. On Tuesday, emergency personnel identified a potential gas leak after some residents reported symptoms aligned with increasing levels of carbon. Authorities say the leak was confirmed in the boiler room of the building, and the Salisbury EMT and fire responded to the scene. And Tennessee-based Clayton Supply, part of Clayton Home Building Group, has announced it will create 263 jobs as it locates a new facility in Stanley County's town of New London. As a leading national home builder of attainable housing, Clayton Home Building Group's portfolio includes a comprehensive range of off-site and site-built housing. The project in Stanley County will expand Clayton Supply's capabilities to support the growing market demand the company is seeing in the housing industry. WSIC weather, partly cloudy overnight, a low of 68. Sunny Wednesday with a high of 86. Wednesday night will be mostly clear with a low of 66. Then sunshine returns for Thursday, the high 92. Mike Jackson, WSIC News.
An offense awakens. I'm Anish Shroff with this Panthers update.
As the official ticket marketplace of the Carolina Panthers and the NFL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game. Whether you're cheering on the Panthers at home or away, Ticketmaster has you covered. With Ticketmaster's interactive seat map, you'll get a 360-degree preview of your seat so you can make sure you have the best view of those pivotal plays. Plus, the Ticketmaster app makes it easy to sell or transfer tickets if your plans change, and mobile tickets make getting in on game day a breeze. Find tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Panthers.
After getting shut out in the preseason opener, the Panthers offense fared much better in Week 2 against the Giants. Rookie quarterback Bryce Young completed 3 of his 6 passes and led the Panthers to a field goal.
A little better operationally, better operation. I think communication was good. Able to put some points to the board. Again, we want to score every drive, and, we want to put touchdowns, but we're able to get some points on the board today, which is, again, a step in the right direction. But, again, obviously, there's a lot for us to improve on. We want to keep growing and being better. So, when the game does end, we'll watch the film and try to keep growing.
Panthers head coach Frank Reich.
Obviously the first drive by the offense and defense wasn't what we want, but then really did feel like there were good moments. And even more than that, I just thought the way we approached the game, it's not going to be perfect, but the physicality, the energy that we played with, I thought was consistent for 60 minutes.
Carolina fell to New York 21-19. But there were some encouraging signs, especially from second and third teamers.
4 wide, Luton in the gun. Giants bring pressure. Luton pumps, hit as he throws it, going downfield for Jennings. Jump ball. Can he hold on? He did! Jennings makes the catch in the right corner of the end zone.
Panthers outscored the Giants 16-0 in the second half. I'm Anish Shroff on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network, presented by Morris Jenkins.
Hi, this is Susan. I'm excited to let you know that Lake Mountain Coffee is now available for private events. Our beautiful historic building with its 360-degree mezzanine has hosted many private parties, catered diners, and even an actual wedding. Please contact Andy at 704-252-1886 for more information. Thank you so much.
Hi folks, Pat Shannon inviting you to join me for the Home Ad Show. We help you sell things, buy things, celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and have a lot of fun in the process. Weekday mornings from 9 to 11, here on News Talk WSIC.
Folks, Randy Marion sells vehicles the King of Price way, but did you know our service department? We service vehicles the King of Price way. We sell tires, we sell brakes, we sell batteries, we sell the maintenance. We help you keep your vehicle on the road safe, ready to drive. Whatever the season is, Randy Marion Service Departments have you covered. Come see us today because, folks, again, we sell the King of Price way and we do service the King of Price way.
King of Price, RandyMarionStatesville.com.
At the YMCA, finding your why starts by making an impact together, touching lives for the better. It can be the gift of time or treasure, supporting a community through talent without measure. Here, passion fuels commitment, finding fulfillment through enrichment, serving and improvement. What a way to live. and what a gift it is to give. Find your why and get involved today at ymca.org for a better us.
So we've got you talking, huh? WSIC News Talk Now. 76 years strong, and we're still the one. WSIC News Talk Now.
All right, welcome back to the Scoreboard here on WSIC 105.9, 100.7 FM, 704-873-1400. As always, if you have something on your mind that you'd like to talk about, we'll cover it. We're going to get to NASCAR here, but I want to quickly shift gears to the NFL. And some off-field things that were going on. I have a report here from the Charlotte Observer from earlier today. And if you listen to the radio station here, WSIC, a bit, you've probably already heard the news story running during one of our breaks. Mike Jackson covering that one. But firefighters on Tuesday found NFL player Caleb Farley's father dead in the rubble of a massive collapsed Lake Norman home owned by the Tennessee Titans quarterback. So deputies responded to a gas-scented scene around midnight, and they found his father unfortunately passed away at the scene. And this is kind of an ongoing situation. It's believed that natural gas was the problem here. There was a gas leak somewhere. Something sparked it and it went up. And, if you're listening in the area, you probably remember back in 2019 in Charlotte, something happened where we had a explosion of another house due to a gas leak. So just a quick PSA, make sure if you smell something, call and get out of the house. That's about the best thing you can do. So hopefully, if you're listening to this and you're a little bit worried about if you have a gas leak or something in your house, well, you should be able to smell it. So if you do smell it, call the authorities and get out of the house. That's the safest thing to do. A very sad situation here, though, for Titans cornerback Caleb Farley, his father passing away in the Mooresville house explosion Tuesday morning. Just wanted to make sure I touched on that because it is a local thing that happened in the news, but also it has to do a little bit with the sports here because, it was unfortunately Caleb Farley's father, and he's the one who was in there, who was living in the house. So, thoughts always going out to them. Let's get to NASCAR here because, like I said, we have quite a bit of sound. We're going to hear from Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, Briscoe, Suarez, Blaney, and William Byron. So, we'll hear a lot of opinions from some of these drivers here. We're not going to play all of them today. I'm going to save them. We gotta kind of savor this a little because we're going to talk about Daytona a lot. Now, here's my prediction for Daytona. If you've been watching the super speedway races for the past, year, there's this little thing that happens. There's this weird phenomenon with these new cars where once they get double filed and tight to each other and lined up, it's a bumping show. They're just bump drafting and nobody can pull out to make a move because if you do pull out to make a move, you're going to lose all your momentum. And this was obvious during Talladega last year where the last 4 laps of the race, it was just completely side by side. Nobody wanted to make a move to make it 3 wide, and the top 2 stayed even the whole time. They went around the track like that, and we had a close finish. But I don't think this is going to be anything like that. I think for some reason, this Daytona race is going to be the best one that the next gen has seen. There's just something about the aura of this race that makes me feel like we're going to see quite the show because it's win or go home. And it's going to be a good one because, like I said yesterday, I looked at the advanced forecast for Florida because I want to know, because it's August in Florida at Daytona Beach. There's going to be rain, right? Well, as of right now in Daytona Beach, there is no threat of rain on Saturday. It's going to be hot, but there's no threat of rain. So hopefully that forecast stays the way it is, because then we'll be able to get a full 160 laps of racing at Daytona in, and we'll be able to actually, have a real winner. Not that a rain-shortened race isn't a real winner, but you know what I'm trying to say. Well, like I said, some drivers here that we're going to hear from. Let's go ahead and kick things off with Chase Briscoe and hear about his mindset going to Daytona, knowing that he has to win to get into the playoffs this year.
I don't know. I think you got to get to the end. I mean, we saw that last year with Austin. Just there was only like 10 or 12 cars even on the racetrack, and if you can miss the big wreck at the end because the desperation is going to be so high, you can kind of sneak away with one. And truthfully, I think this year is going to be the most chaotic one, just because you have so many good cars that are going to be in desperation mode. You look at the 48, the 99, the 9. There's just a ton of really, really good cars that are going to have to win probably to get in. So it's going to be one of the most exciting cutoff race I think we've ever had in the history of the sport. And hopefully all of us, come out of that deal safe, because there's definitely going to be a lot of, I feel like, really, really aggressive moves and just guys that are going to be on the rev limiter when it comes to the aggressive meter.
And the aggressiveness, I expect, is going to be through the roof for a majority of the race, because track position is going to be key. Now, like I said, we've seen these super speedway races with the next-gen cars get into this weird thing where nobody can pass for some reason, because they just start getting or side-by-side, they side draft, and nobody's able to gain any momentum. I don't think this race is going to be like that. I think there's going to be a lot of desperation, kind of like what Briscoe was saying there. Once you get towards the end of these races, somebody's going to make a move out of desperation, because there's going to be a driver below the playoff cut line who's going to have a chance. They're going to be running in the top 5, and they know that they're in a win or go home position. And we could see some big ones. And I'm not talking 1 or 2. I'm talking maybe 3 or 4, because it seems like this next gen car, it's pretty durable. I've seen some pretty gnarly hits out of these cars. Remember what Justin Haley did at the Indy Road Course, and then he just kept, driving the car like nothing happened. He ended up retiring that car because it was destroyed, but it was still working. I think we're going to see an absolutely insane race this weekend, and I think some of the drivers are probably preparing for that to happen. What I want to know is, how are some of these drivers that are already locked in going to do? Are they going to stay back and just kind of wait around and maybe try to get an extra 5 bonus points with a win? Or are they going to be aggressive, try and get stage points or a playoff point for winning the stage? That's what's going to be really interesting to see. Coming up on our last break of the day here, I want to keep talking about NASCAR here to end the show. We do a lot of NASCAR coverage here, but that's because, we love NASCAR. We have every race on the station. So make sure you stay tuned here as we head to break. This is the Scoreboard with Joe Berg here on WSIC 105.9, 100.7 FM, 704-873-1400 if you'd like to call in. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't fix America's debt by starving its people.
Have your say.
One shooting after another, and we're doing nothing to solve it?
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Asheville native Kanan Cox will be performing at Kane Center for the Arts Friday, August 25th. Show starts at 8 p.m. Kane Center for the Arts 2024 fall season. Buy your tickets now at canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Happy birthday, Huntersville! Celebrate Huntersville's 150th birthday this Saturday. Primal in Huntersville will have live music, food trucks, and special deals all day on August 26th. Huntersville is 150 years old, and you should celebrate at Primal off of Highway 115 in Huntersville. It is one of the last couple of weeks to enjoy open swim at the Kerrigan Farms Quarry. Thursday, August 31st is the end of the swim season at Kerrigan Farms Quarry. Swim up an appetite with the whole family and enjoy Kerrigan Farms Farm-to-Table Restaurant. Kerrigan Farms open swim at the quarry. Enjoy it before the end of August. Love cycling? Love supporting veterans? Purple Heart Homes presents Take That Hill. Sign-ups are open now. The event is Saturday, October 7th. It is a great way to support a local organization focused on veterans. Take That Hill, presented by Purple Heart Homes. For more info, visit bikesignup.com. Eli Yacinth Band is playing this Friday, August 25th at the Upper Room in downtown Statesville. Enjoy a great show with a full 9-person band. Have a full night of jazz music with the Eli Yacinth Band, Friday night at the Upper Room in downtown Statesville. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi with your WSIC forecast. Tonight's going to be partly cloudy, low 68. Plenty of sunshine for Wednesday with a high of 86. Mainly clear Wednesday night, low 66. Thursday, sunny skies, high 92. Friday's going to be a sunny hot day with a high of 98. Sunny Saturday, high 96. I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi from WSIC's Weather Center.
For 41 years, your Auto Plus Auto Parts store is Johnson's Parts and Supply. Johnson's Parts provides quality auto parts, helping you to get your work done quickly. Your Auto Plus Auto Parts store is located at 1112 Shelton Avenue in Statesville. Open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and on Saturdays from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Closed on Sunday. Johnson's Parts, your Auto Plus Auto Parts store, located at 1112 Shelton Avenue in Statesville.
Be a part of the conversation.
We can't fix America's debt by starving its people.
Have your say.
One shooting after another, and we're doing nothing to solve it?
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
All right, we got the last segment here on the Scoreboard, WSIC. Give me a call, 704-873-1400, if you have something you'd like to talk about. We're talking NASCAR right now. I know it's a Tuesday, the race isn't until Saturday, but man, give me a break. It's the last race till the playoffs start. We got to preview what to expect at Daytona, because I think there's a lot of differing opinion out there. I was talking in the other segment about how the previous super speedway races and plate races, Daytona, Talladega, in this next gen car, they're a little bit weird, and we're not seeing the third lane as much anymore. It's almost like once they get side by side in two lines, the side drafting and the normal drafting is just too much for anybody to pull out, try and make a third line, because it'll just kill all the momentum. Well, here's what Ryan Blaney has to say about the possibility of a third line being formed at Daytona.
I feel like really the only time we saw the third lane at Talladega is when the leaders were saving gas. Leaders were lifting, guys jumping the third lane who aren't lifting, and they can kind of compete. You know, I feel like when the inside and middle lane decided to go and stop saving gas, that third lane just kind of disappeared. I hope that's not the case. Hopefully, you get some three-wide racing to where you can make some moves and get up the middle. And Daytona race, it's more handling at Daytona than Talladega for sure, especially in the summer race. So hopefully it gets to be where guys are, really having their hands full, and then you get the third lane. If you got guys on the bottom lifting off a 4 because it's your car is not handling good, then the third lane can kind of keep momentum. So hopefully that happens.
And, that's exactly what I'm thinking is we've seen at Talladega the side-by-side, 2x2 racing. I really think that the best thing for NASCAR would be to change the package just a little bit, get the cars off the ground a little bit more. I know they don't want to do that because they don't want cars flying through the air. But, let's be real. Who doesn't love a good airborne crash? Come on. You gotta love it. It's just absolutely majestic to watch a race car take off like an airplane. But NASCAR doesn't want that. They want safety and all that, which I get and I'm completely okay with. But we got to raise these cars off the ground a little bit, make them a little bit harder to handle, maybe make the spoiler a little bit smaller. I think that has a lot to do with it because the side drafting at Daytona and Talladega is extreme, and it's extreme because the spoiler's so big. Once you get to that corner panel and the air dumps onto the spoiler, you're losing all your momentum. But I really do think that we're going to see a different Daytona race. It's just something about this weekend coming up makes me feel like the feeling that we're going to get watching this race is going to be different. Like they're going to drop the green flag and we're going to go, oh boy, this is going to be a different Daytona race. I could be completely wrong. We could have single file for 100 laps, and then the last 60 laps, they decide to race. That could happen. But I don't think it's going to. And I was also wondering how some of these drivers who are already locked in on points or on wins are going to approach Daytona. Are you going to go to try to get a stage win? Are you going to stay back and try and just win the race? Well, here's William Byron on how he's going. Now, remember, William Byron, 5 wins. He's completely locked in. The only thing he would be racing for is to keep Truex Jr., and I think Truex is really the only one he's got to worry about from getting a couple of playoff points and jumping him to lead the playoffs once they start next week. But here's what Byron has to say about how he's going to approach Daytona this weekend.
Yeah, just try to help those guys as much as we can. Super Speedways is really the place that we can help the most. I got a few questions about it. All the other tracks it's tough to help, unless you're just really equal and battling it out. But Super Speedways is a chance. Everyone, is really close there. So hopefully we can push those guys when we need to. And I intend on being aggressive there and just make sure all my belts are tight and make sure we're ready to go.
I would hope he's always making sure his belts are tight, but that's just me. But no, William Byron, he was just talking about his teammates. Remember, Byron's teammates with Elliott and Bowman. Both drivers need a win to get into the playoffs. They can't both win. They also can't both make the playoffs. They are mathematically eliminated. They cannot gain the amount of points needed to point their way in. So they got to win the race. Well, they have some teammates out there, and William Byron's one of them. If you were William Byron, how do you choose who you're going to work with? Is it just whoever's in front of you at that time? Late race restart, are you going to choose to work with one of your teammates? What if you have to pick one or the other? I don't like that teammates try to work together so much at Daytona. I completely understand it. I'm not saying that I think it doesn't make sense. No, it makes total sense. But I would not want to do that because once you start trying to plan things on a super speedway and say, hey, I plan to stick with this driver all race and we're going to work together. Well, that's when things start to go downhill for you because we have crashes and cautions and shuffling in the pits. If I was a driver, I would much rather just go out there and drive and just see what you can do. Act like you don't have any teammates. That's just me. Now, it is a little bit different with these next-gen cars. You can be a little bit more deliberate with helping someone specific. just because, like I said, they're so glued to the ground. The runs that we see and the bumps and the pushes that we see at Daytona, they're huge. So you can be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more like, hey, I am definitely going to help that guy. I'm going to shove him down the backstretch. I don't want that responsibility. I wouldn't. Because, I mean, I guess if you're Hendrick, you can do this thing where you say, all right, Byron, you're going to help Elliott. Larson, you're going to help Bowman, and somebody go win this race. And are you going to lay back? Are you going to be up there battling the whole race? Because we're still got stages. We still have playoff points being handed out during the stages, which are very valuable. 1 or 2 points can put you through to the next round or eliminate you. We've seen it plenty of times. We've seen 0 points eliminate people. We've seen drivers with wrecked race cars at the Charlotte Roval, unable to turn to the right, wall ride to get back to the start-finish line and not get eliminated by 1 point. So 1 playoff point could make or break your entire playoffs. Do you stay up front and try and get that point? I know William Byron's going to want to do that because he's got Truex to worry about. He's only got 1 more playoff point than Truex right now. So is he going to push his teammates to the stage wins also? This is where there's so much gray area in having a teammate, and that's the uniqueness of NASCAR. It's not my team versus your team. It's 4 guys on one team, 5 guys on this team, 3 guys here, 2 guys here, single car teams, and they're all out there at once, and you got to figure it out. I don't know what I would want to do. I don't know if I would want to push one of my teammates to a stage win or even a race win. I mean, the race win is a little different to get them into the playoffs. Okay, I get that, but before that, stages? No, I kind of want to help myself and get more playoff points because I got guys breathing down my neck when we get to Darlington next week. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. And it's always like this at the end of the stage. It's like kind of calm. And then we get to 10 to go in the stage and people start racing. And then you get to 3 to go in the stage and it really picks up. And it's going to pick up every time we end of stage 1 is going to be crazy. The end of stage 2 is going to be a little crazier. And the end of the race is going to be a mess. It just is. I hope it doesn't end under a caution. That's the only thing I care about when we go to these super speedways. Don't let it end under a caution. We need to have a super speedway specific rule where if there's a caution, even after the white flag is thrown, you rack them back up and you go at it again because it's the most anticlimactic ending to a race that you can have. And the worst is when they're wrecking as they enter the tri-oval and they throw the caution like 20 feet after they cross the start-finish line to take the white flag. Like, come on, this was a great race, and these guys ruined it by being unable to drive race cars. I mean, I'm not serious about that. I'm just kind of playing around there, but I'm serious. It is anticlimactic when they throw the caution at the end of the race for a 2-car wreck. We're going to talk more about Daytona. We got a lot more drivers to hear from throughout the week, so definitely stay tuned. Make sure you stay up to date on who thinks they have a good car, who thinks they're going to be able to win. And we'll hear from guys like Denny Hamlin, Chastain, Suarez. We'll bring all those audios in. But that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you as always for tuning in, whether it's on the radio or on the video feed or however you watch or listen. Thank you for listening to the Scoreboard here on WSIC. I'm your host, as always, Joe Berg. Back same time, same place tomorrow. Local programming starts tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Catch Justin Kazepis with Good Morning LKN. And we'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good day, everyone.
The new